Y'all read that, didn't you? I see you out there. Yep, yep. You know it's Eagles Way of Boxing time. Eagles Way of Chat. Adult chat and boxing. You know the rules when you come up in here. Let me put it up before I show my grill. Let me put it up there. Right? Because sometimes they don't get it, Gil. Sometimes they under that misunderstanding for some reason. It's like, why you under that misunderstanding? There's no misunderstanding. Huh? There shouldn't be no misunderstanding. You know what to do when you come up in here. That's our spokesperson. If you knew the Eagles Way of Boxing, this is our spokesperson with the hands right there, Larry Holmes. We always say the same thing. Or I'm gonna say it. There's no disrespect intended. I don't care if you in the living room or something, you in the bedroom or you at work, you sitting in the cafeteria, wherever you at, restaurant, park, whatever. Sit your ass down. No disrespect. And enjoy what we about to talk about. And that's just our spokesperson. And we just like to sit your ass down, jab. Just like Charlton and stole it. Jamel Charlton stole the sit your ass down jab. Well, we got a different twist today. Hopefully this is educational. Hopefully. Because I don't know shit. But anyway, I'm still gonna try to throw out what little knowledge I have, and we're gonna try to educate a little bit. But let me salute my brothers out because they came in to see Eagles Way Up, and I got a message out there. Salute to Gil Coles and also salute to Derek Bailey. Those are my champ and my former champ. They up in here. Yeah, champ. If champs hang out together. Yeah. But Gil say, sup Eagles Way Up. And then Derek Bailey said, salute at Eagles Way Up Boxing. Then of course they gonna salute each other out. And then I put my little message up there. Y'all know what it say. If you know how to read, you know what it say. But anyway, check your mail this week, Derek. I'm trying to get this stuff out today. It took me a little while because I had to think. I'm like, I wanted it to be, I didn't want what I was giving you to be too ethnic as far as my culture is concerned. But I've been having a lot of thoughts, man. And there's a lot of crap that goes on with our daily life. I don't know if you guys suffer through it. But a lot of times I suffer through it, and I watch my people, suffer through it like all day. And one thing and even my family, everybody know one thing I can't stand is I don't allow and I don't deal with people with slick talk. I don't like no kind of slick talk. I just don't like it. I grew up that way, and I just don't like any kind of slick talk. I do not like slick talkers. And when you sit back and you start thinking, you're like, wait a minute now. A lot of things around you is just slick talk. Things that you don't even expect. It's slick talk. You don't even think about it. You don't. You just go through your daily life and you don't really think about it. But a lot of things around us is just slick talk. And it's like, God dang, man. It's like, are you kidding me? Even they talking slick. Are they? And they learning how to talk. People learn how to talk slick. What you doing learning how to talk slick? Learn how to be proper. Oh no, Gil. I see your message down there. I see you said Eagles Web, so I had to pay attention. Even though didn't come up the right color for some, it doesn't come up the right color on my page. So a lot of times I don't see it. I think you have to have a hashtag, or you have to have the at sign in front in order for it to show up. That's what Derek does. That's what Derek did. Yeah, it's on his. I'm gonna send him his strap today, Gil. I just been busy and stuff, but not just because I had to be busy. I had to redesign it. I had to redesign the strap, So I had to redesign the strap. Don't worry about it. The brother gonna get his strap, and don't worry about the fees and stuff, the franchise fees. Gil was gonna pay for the franchise fees and all that. So, it's all good. Don't worry about it. That's all covered. I don't want it. We could talk. Of course, we always end up on boxing and stuff like that. We'll talk boxing, but I just wanted to put it like this is gonna be this might be short, it might be long. It's like a life lesson. And we started off, we was talking about the slick talk, but it's not always just about that. And the reason I titled it the way I titled the show about the separation, and it has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with separate, like, no, racial separation and stuff like that. That's already been done. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. A lot of people look at it like it's bad or something like that. It's not necessarily bad, because if you take bad situations, what do you do in the first place if you have a bad situation? If you have a bad situation, let's put it this way: if you have a bad situation that you have to be in, what do you do? What do your parents always taught you? If you're in a bad situation, what your parents always taught you? Look, look at Gil. Gil starting this. Hey, now, Gil, you interrupted my thought process, man. You're gonna make me laugh, and then I'm gonna have to go all the way around to come back to where I'm at. Because I asked y'all a question, but at the same time, Gil's putting up this stuff right here. Because Gil said, "Eagles, where did you send Derek Bailey the franchise belt?" Like we talked about. He talking about, Derek Bailey, your franchise belt is on your way. See, I missed that the first time. I was just thinking about the belt because I seen that. But now I'm laughing because Gil putting up franchise. Now, why he got to be franchise champ? So, in other words, Gil, you ain't no good, man. So, what he's trying to do, Derek Bailey, my D Ted Bailey up in there, what Gil is trying to say is that he basically he's still the champ. But you can hold, your title has to be a franchise champ. Oh, Gil miss it. He miss it, man. He can't wait. He like that. I want it. Gil like, I want to re-up right away. But you know what? Because it was only a few of you in here, but if more people if they show up and if they're not scared of the championship and they show up, it might be hard for either one of y'all. There you go. So you deal with it, and you turn the situation around and not catch a case. Yeah, you try not to catch. That's the whole. And importance there is you always want to try not to. I wasn't even going to bring that up. I don't think. I was bringing it up right now. The thing is, you don't want to be catching a case. That's one thing. You always want to, I got to live and do what I got to do, but I don't want no case behind it. And how you don't get a case is what they call protecting all angles and make sure that you clean up after yourself. And that's a way to say it. That's a good way to say it. I have to say it that way. That's a good way to say it. And you're right. Like I said, Gil slick. He said, I know. He said, Gil slick. Yeah, Gil be slick talking. And he put it out there too like nothing. He said, Eagle don't like slick talk. I'm going to slick talk right away. And so he put the slick talk out there. And that's true. Is that you want to cover it up. So we come into these situations and there's nothing we can do about it. We have to live it. So what you do, you make the best out of it. A lot of times you just got to make the best out of a bad situation. Same thing at home. I didn't grow up like with a lot of money. And I grew up with a lot of times with not what you would call proper nutrition on the table. But you learn how to do a lot with a little bit. And I'm going to tell you something. Now, this ain't the best food that you can have, but I'm going to tell you something like flour, sometimes sugar. So flour, sugar, sometimes you can't afford milk. Well, milk is even expensive, but I don't really mess with milk now. But milk and some type of, say for instance, cooking oil, like that. Besides your little spices and stuff, because, it don't matter how poor you are, you're going to have pepper and salt. And you probably, even if you don't, you might have imitation vanilla or something like that. But just those ingredients themselves, you can make a lot of stuff with. And that's why, like I said, man, the skill set of women, man, just like, if they still had that skill set in the kitchen, that kitchen skill set, you wouldn't have to worry about too much stuff as a man besides just supporting, making those ends meet up when you go out. But a lot of times, like I said, that skill set is gone, man. And since that skill set is gone, you gonna have to work and buy all kinds of stuff. I never. I'll just tell you a little bit. This is like a short story. It's not. It's just like information. I had these friends. I'm not gonna say who they are, but I had these friends, and you could probably guess, what they are, or just by what the story I tell you. This little short story. So every, and this is almost this. I'm not even exaggerating. It seemed like every time we met up, I don't care if it was 1, 2, 3, 4 days a week. I don't care. We had to go to like a new restaurant or a different restaurant or somebody in the family restaurant, like all the time. And I was always thinking, I'm wondering if they can even cook. And come to find out, even if we did something like if we went on like um, outings or picnic or whatever like that, I wouldn't see one dish that was made unless it was made by me. You feel me? And, and not one dish, and this ain't even that like long. This is not a long time ago. I'm like, not one dish would be made unless it was made by me. I was like, wow. So right then, that kind of gave me the story right there. So the young folks right there, y'all hold on just 1 second. I got this guy I got some serious business supposed to be happening. I'll be right back. And we're back live. Yeah, coach, that I have with it. There we go. Okay, so there we go. They're all the way down to Gil. Gil being slickster. Yep. So we still we're on that. But the reason, so I brought up a couple of these little stories and stuff, and the reason I had the separation is not what you think. It's not. So this is what I want to do. I might not be able to do it, but this is what I want to do. I want to, because a lot of people don't like when we go back and forth. We're talking about, I only have a couple of people that are like-minded, like myself, that they're going to be like, well, you know what, the old school, you're not going to be able to compare the older generation with the new generation. And the reason being is that there's things that happen. Let me take this down. There's things that happen that we're not going to be able to more or less compensate. You can't do the same type of thing today as you was able to do yesterday. Because everybody looks at records. First of all, you look at records. You said records falling. Let's get into it. Not just one sport. I'm not going to just talk about boxing. But we have already talked. We always talked about it, but we never we never get into in depth about it. So we're looking at stuff like fighters that have the most first round knockouts, or fighters, So if you even explore that, it's a big debate. Watch the question. Listen to the question. So why did, for instance, Jack Johnson, why didn't he have a lot of real early stoppages? And you're going to see exactly where this goes. Is why I say the separation. Why didn't he have so many early stoppages? Okay. And the one thing I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put this. Is from a couple of about 2, maybe 3 stories. Because I don't want to try to turn this into like a race war. I don't want it to be anything like that. I want it to be intelligent thought, like an intelligent thought process. And so when you respond, this intelligent thought process which you're responding, don't be slick like Gil, slick ass Gil. Okay? Because Gil just slick. And that's just Gil. That's the way it is. Now, let me do something real quick. I had to get something ready right there. Okay, so that's the one sport. So we're talking. So Gil Cole says because Jack had to carry the other fighters. That's you goddamn right. And there's a reason that he had to carry the fighters, right? And a lot of people would think like the skill set and all that. Okay, but he had to carry fighters. Now think about that. You got to carry fighters. Now today, is anybody like just carrying fighters? See, there goes like a comparison. That's why I said you got to separate them. But that's one comparison. Okay, so you think these fighters, do you think these, like for instance, runners, like sprinters, you think they're so much faster now than they was? Okay, they used to have the sprinters and runners running on the same type of track. Probably not even as good a track. No, matter of fact, it's not a good track. It's not as good of a track as a horse track. And this off the subject a little bit, man. To be honest, I love horse tracks, man. I do, man. I love horse tracks. Like the big ones that's well kept. I love them. There's a lot of history in there, but I'm not gonna see Gil being slick again. I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, even that one in, I don't know, you might know where it is, what it is, Gil. I think it's in, where's that? I was gonna say Clear Lake. Clear Lake is not. What's that little town right next to Orlando? What's that little town, Gil? That little city that's connected to Orlando, where they got that racetrack. That's a nice looking racetrack. or it was. But see, Gil being slick already. He's like Floyd versus McGregor. Okay, but that's different. Yeah. But you say, yep, sprinters are quicker. Now, why are sprinters quicker? If I'm running on shit that slips every time I run, I mean, I'll put it in perspective. Is a person gonna run if you got sand and you got on flip flops? Are you gonna run as fast with them flip flops on sand? I'm talking about sand that has some inches on it, 4 or 5 inch sand, soft sand. Are you gonna run as fast on that as you would just simply on grass barefooted? It is clear water. Okay, Derek Brady said it is clear water. I'm like, no, I don't know if it's called clear water. It's a question. I forgot what it's called. It's been a long time since I've been to Florida. It's been like 10 years. Something like that. About 10 years or so since I've been to Florida. So, and yeah, Derek Brady said I thought about that fight too. Yep. Gil Cole said was the last fight I can recall. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, see, the reason I'm trying to get this separation, so I'm trying to implant it so you can see where I'm going with it. You know what I mean? Not just me verbalizing it, but you can understand what I'm saying. So we got points here. So Gil makes the point that we had to carry the fighters. But watch, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm bringing it up further. So that's way back. Okay, so that's way back. Okay. Way back. That's way back. Okay, so let's go up a little bit. It's not really that far from it, but let's go up. So Jackie Robinson was probably one of the best baseball players there was. Really good. But he actually had a brother that was actually faster than him and stuff like that. Maybe not be able to hit and catch like him, but was just even faster than him. But he got into the league, and this is not a racial. I'm not talking about it as being. There's race in there. So I'll look it up, Gills. No, I don't think it's Seabrain. That's something water. Derek Brady put clear water. It may be clear water. It might be. Watch. I actually stayed there. I'm like, well, what the heck? So his brother might not have been as fast. I mean, might have been faster, but they picked Jackie Robinson for a certain thing, like for character or something like that. Because they was actually trying to get him in the service. They was trying to court-martial him, and he beat the court-martial because it was over some BS. Okay. So that's just one air. I'm just taking you up an air. Jim Brown played football, and he was in his prime, and he just quit playing football. Wasn't hurt, didn't lose a step, but he just quit. And it took years and years for somebody to break his record. Now I'm going to go back to football again. Now that was, he got out, in the 60s, right? So I'll go back. So I'm going to go up to 67, I think it's 60, either 69 or I think it's 69 or 70, if I'm not mistaken. So his record got broken, right? But how far could he have put it? Okay, let's skip over. Let's skip over just a second before I go to football again, because I'm gonna give you something, and then you go again, and then playing 14 games a season. He said OJ broke the record. OJ's record's not even broken, to be honest. OJ Simpson's record would probably never be broken, because I think it was 12. Was it 12? It's either 12 or, like Derek Brady say, or 14, something like that. But OJ had over 2,000 yards, and they set his ass down. And it was symbolized that there's a certain number. There's a reason to symbolize that where it was at. But we're not going to get into that part of it. But so records that they think that can be broken, and there's records that can't be broken. So let's hop over to basketball. And that's why I say the separation. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a professional basketball game. Here's the question. Could he have scored more points than that? Could he have scored more points than that on more than one occasion? And what other player, even though you say how great these players are, what other player would have been able to do that against other professionals? Like score over 100 points more than once. Most definitely could have scored over 100 points more than once, a bunch of times. So we started with Jack Johnson has to carry these people because of what might happen. Wilt Chamberlain could have scored more points, but why didn't he? Jim Brown could have ran for thousands and thousands of yards more, but why didn't he? Now here's the thing. Now we'll go to collegiate, and I'm gonna tell you this is the one. Like I pay attention to this guy because I think he wasn't. I don't think this guy was actually like into the racial thing that much. I don't really think he was like racist or nothing like that. A lot of people might have thought he was. He might have been, but I don't think he was. And that's Paul Bear Bryant. I don't think he was racist, you know. This is by looking at all his clips and the way he talked. He's just a Southern guy. You know, he just wanted to win. I think he had like 7 national championships underneath his belt out of 25 years of coaching. Okay. So what was significant about him is that he took his team into the Lions' Den. Because Alabama never had they didn't have like black players and stuff like that. It was in a time where there was segregation and stuff like that. So we're not concentrating on that part of it. We're not going to concentrate on the segregation part of it. But in that game, when Alabama actually played USC, and USC had more experienced people, but they had a mixed team. And they were big, fast, and everything else. So they go to Alabama, and they more or less smash them in the first quarter. It's basically over with in the first quarter. They had their starting running back was Sam Cunningham, for USC. Do you know only 12 carries? Now, I'm just talking about records. So everybody talking about like the new style. They talking about the collegiate players now, the professional players now, how much better they are. Do you know he had, I think, close to 150 yards on 12 carries in that game? And that was the end of the game for him. How many yards is that per carry? And what kind of carrying average is that? How many times does it, like a great running back, how many times does he touch the ball? Now, we're not on boxing right now. But how many times does a great running back touch the ball? A minimum. How many times does he touch the ball? At least 20-something, right? A great running back has to touch that ball 20-something times. 20, 30 times. He has to. Touch the ball 12 times. Think about it. I said 12 carries. Think about it. Even a great running back, does a great running back get stopped when he's carrying the ball sometimes? Does he lose yards, like maybe maybe lost 2 yards, lost 3 yards, then gain 5, gain 10, then lose 2, 12 carries? If he did, think about it. If he lost yards on any of those carries, let's just throw a number out there. Let's say he lost yards on 3 carries. So that means for 8. So now it makes it look even worse. So on 9 of his carries, he got like close to 150 yards. And we're saying that was it for him. They took him out the game. And so why, and we know the reason why though. So why was that first game against USC versus Alabama, why was that game padded? Because they put in third stringers. So why was that game padded like that? Because even the fans, Alabama knew, the fans knew, everybody knew after that game. They knew that USC could have ran up a score that it would have been untouchable. And matter of fact, 12 carries, over almost 150 yards. Think about that. So if they would have gave him the ball 30 times, okay, and I'm just saying, but just putting this out there. If he would have got the ball 30 times, chances are he probably would have had close to 500 yards. Who would have broke that? The reason things are breakable is because they were made to be breakable because of our situation. And we go back to the first question that we had. We go back to, what do you do in a situation, in a hard situation, a bad situation? What do? You make the best things out of it, just like what Derek Bailey said. You make the best things out of it. But they couldn't even make the best things out of the bad situation. They had to just deal with, okay, well, we had to stop you. That's enough points. That's enough yards. Because they worried about pride and all that embarrassment. But I'm going to tell you, there's a team right now. There's a team out. There's a West Coast team. The Oregon Ducks. That they just, for their competition, they just blow them out sometimes. I think I seen the score one time. I'm like, what the hell is that? A basketball score? What is that? They had like 70-something points. They just don't care. So just think about if that, even when we're talking like 70 points today, just think about that could have had over 100 points back then. And that's the biggest thing that I wanted to bring up is just that one game. And what brings that into importance is if we are talking race, that actually opened up the eyes of one race versus another race. That kind of opened up their eyes like, okay, these people are for real. They are athletic. They are smart. Right? Oh, okay. So Derek Bailey said possibility. Yeah, possibly. And then he's right back. He said, I think they consider it showing off. Like if a team beat a team too bad, they will accuse them of running up the score. See? Now, why do you even have that? Huh? Why do they have that? You know what that is at D to the Bailey? That is protection language. You see? You probably look past it. That's protection language. And what are we protecting? So that's another subject. We talk about it just for a second. So the protection language, now the reason they use that protection language is because they know that the recruiting system, the college funding system when it comes to coaches and all that is unequal. It's not equal across the board. It's not equal across the board if you think about it. It's not equal. And see, one of my great brothers that I talk about, and a lot of people talk about, Jim Thorpe, was a great athlete. And he was doing unimaginable things. But there's always a limit to what you could do. And see, I'm not trying to see, and this is the thing, as you guys already know me, is that I don't believe in race, and I don't put things in race perspective, even though we can look at it like, oh, that's probably racial, or that's profiling. People say racial profiling. No, it's power profiling. It's not racial profiling. It's power profiling. It's an agenda. It's an agenda against certain people. So it's not a race. It's against a certain people. Because you don't know who a person is, and yes, like even the police run you. If they pull you over, they don't know who you are until you identify your own self, and they run you. And yes, they've been like just pulling your ass over forever. Then they know who you are. Oh, that's eagles. That's eagle face. Because they didn't pull my ass over 20 times. They know who I am. They see all the feathers and shit. They know who I am. So that's a lot different. You feel me? So it's always power. It's never, see, the race thing is for you. And I'm not saying you particular, this anybody who's in here right now, besides my mods, I'm not saying race because of you or because of you. It's agenda. For you, the small man is race. But for the big man, it's always agenda. It's what I need to do. This is what I need to show. But the small people are going to look at it like this. It's always power. There's always power on some sense. So the college campuses aren't created equal. The programs, the athletic programs, are not created equal. They were more equal, and I'm gonna tell you some of these football teams, like the ones that already are endorsed by, because one thing that team I mentioned, they're more or less the endorsement for Nike. They are the endorsement for Nike. When Nike have new shit, they are the endorsement. See, now what about other teams? They're not the endorsement, even if they're supplied by Nike. They're not that's not really their endorsement. They're not part of their family like that. So we have these different levels from the past that if we look back on them, we say that, hey, that could have really been broken. Or that, and just like, and I'm gonna take you back. So let's go back to track and field. There was an athlete that's out of Texas that played for the Cowboys. He was probably one of the fastest guys ever in football and track and field. And arguably, they said he was faster than Usain Bolt, even on the cinder tracks, because what they did is they actually measured his time, because he had to make up time on the 4x100, which is a relay. So he had to make up time in order for his team to win. He would only run as fast as he needed to do, like to beat you. He would never blow you out, but he would just beat you. He might beat you by 4 steps or something like that sometimes. But his name was Bob Hayes. They called him Bullet Bob Hayes. And they did a breakdown frame by frame to see how fast he ran his last 110 meters. Something like that, I think, it was either 10 meters or 110 meters. And they said he ran something like an 8.5 or something like that when they broke it down. It came out to be an 8.5. Oh, can you imagine that? That somebody's running on something that's slippery that many meters at an 8.5? And then you try to compare him if he was on something that he wasn't slipping. Just think if he wasn't slipping and had like the more flexible shoes and stuff like that, didn't have on like them heavy ass boots. Man, he would have been flying. Are you kidding me? So that's what I'm saying. So the comparison is the separation. We got to have a separation, but we still have to pull from the past still. So the Jack Johnsons didn't get all those quick knockouts. It was because of an agenda. He couldn't. And yes, you could throw race on top of it. Let's sprinkle like race on top, but just understand that race was not that's not the full problem, and that's not why it happened. And that's why these guys they'll never be able to live with that. They'll never be able to do the same type of things. It's just like I think it was a quote from Muhammad Ali that said that he's great. He said that guy was great. Not only was he talking about Jack Johnson, not only was he great, he said he was just crazy because he was not a conformist. I'm not going to conform with all this, but at the same time he had to. Yeah, so I'm not going to pay attention to him this time because it wasn't what I thought it was. It's total front. Oh, that's actually something else. That's a whole different line right there. Yeah, but the whole thing with the showing off, though, D to the Bailey, that showing off, that was, see what they do in their language, they write in bullshit that we always go for. Oh yeah, they trying to show off, man. But I want you to show off. I want you to show. If you can blow somebody's ass out, then blow their ass out, because this is what it does. It changes the playing field. It makes you do something about the things that are unfair. You see? And see, when they do stuff, because I read your next statement right here, you say they can't compete with us. Okay, so that goes right into play. So that if you can't, I see you down there, Yasser Hussein, salute to you. So if you can't compete, and see, this is what they're going to do. I'm going to tell you, this is what they're going to do. This is the sneaky shit that you got to pay attention to. So D to the Bailey says they can't compete. So this is what they're going to do in order to compete. Stacks, steroids, supplements, hormones, testosterone, and the list goes on and on. See? So that language, you see what you said? You can't compete. Now, why is the playing field more, why is it closer now? It didn't used to be close because it's just like what Derek Beatty said, and it has nothing to do with it's not a racial thing. It has shit to do with it. But Derek Beatty said they can't compete. So what is it? So now that you have all this other stuff, and guarantee that you have even more stuff, because if the so-called great athletes take the shit, now that even makes them even greater. So that means you have to have even another edge somehow. So how do you edge stuff out? What do they call this stupid shit? They say bending the rules and all that. No, it's not. It's changing the rules. If the quarterback on the football team keeps getting sacked all the time, and he's getting like sacked by the safety and the linebacker like constantly, what are they gonna do to make the game more offensive? Right? They gonna make it to where that defensive player can't use his hands the way he usually can use his hands, like grab and slam your ass down. They gonna stop that. And so what does that do with a quarterback that's more evasive? What's that gonna do for him? If he knows you're not gonna just like slam him and grab him like that, what does it do for him? It makes it, it's gonna make it's easier for him to get away from your ass, right? And just speaking about football, man, I look at these clips, man, because in Lawrence Taylor used to play for the New York Giants. He always comes up. But if you ever look at him, just go back and look at some of the way that he tackled people. He had this one tackle. I don't even know. I never seen nobody do it like as constantly as he does it. He had this one tackle that I can only call it throwing out the garbage. Because he would just literally like grab you, like more or less have you by your jersey and just throw your, how do you pick up a grown man with one arm like that? He used to pick your ass up like I'm not exaggerating. You just check it out, man, for yourself. If you don't believe me, he used to grab him like a freaking bag, like a trash bag. This ain't trash. It has some, but he used to grab him like this, like actually have him, and it's almost like in his fingers and just flip him like throw him. I'm like, are you kidding me? He used to actually just roll them like they was trash, like throw them in the end zone. Like trash, get your ass up in the end zone. Get your ass up out of here. I'm like, God, and you imagine there's somebody that you can't stop like that, what your day is going to be like as an offense. It's going to be a hard day. It's going to be nothing you can do. I have never seen anybody since that I have not seen nobody, I don't care what, if you want to call it race or whatever you want to call it, I haven't seen nobody since to do that kind of shit and bring that kind of terror. And first of all, how are you getting in there? Because it was like around 6'4", something like that, 250. He's just getting around people like it ain't nothing. Knocking your ass down or just running straight through you to get to. I've seen him tackle like a blocker and the quarterback. How are you tackling both of them? See, and that's where we're at. Like when we talk about athletes today and athletes, like I said, that separation. You have to have a separation. And D to the Bay, don't think I didn't replay that and see that shit. Matter of fact, I didn't actually want to replay it. I can't even watch it. Matter of fact, I don't even think I've ever watched it more than once. When he said he ended Theismann's career when he broke Theismann's leg, because he just like. I don't know if y'all ever seen Terminator. I think it was the second Terminator. Where the Terminator, all of his clothes and stuff had burnt off or whatever. And he was frozen. Oh, I think it was before he got burnt. Okay, so there was liquid nitrogen had hit him. And he froze. And he was walking and one of his legs just broke. That's what that remind me of. What Theismann got his leg broke. It's like he just pulled him into the break, like this broke him, like this grabbed him and this broke. He grabbed him and broke his leg. He did not hit him like you would like hit him and like wrap him up like that. When he hit him, he just like more or less like grabbed him, and that's the worst. You can't recover That's what I was told. I was told this in martial arts that you can't, you're not gonna really recover from something like that. I got my screwdriver out, so that I had over here. So basically, when you do like this to a leg or a bone, when you do like this and snap it and break it, it's not gonna. It won't recover. It's not gonna recover like if you're doing something and you break it, like you're playing basketball or something, and the force breaks it. It's a different force that breaks it. But if you just get your shit snapped like that, because Theismann actually thought he was gonna come back. Yeah, that's a horrible one right there, man. A lot of people can't even watch it. It's like, man, I don't want to watch that shit because his leg was all like, it's like my wrist. That's what his leg was like. Look at my leg, man. Look at my arm. See, that's how your leg is. Like my arm, like my wrist. His shit was snapped. Yep. Derek Bay down there say, yeah, get some more yardage. There you go. And that's to another part of what I was talking about. You know, I got to keep up with all parts of the conversation. Yeah. But that's it. He used to do the. But Derek Bay, did you ever see the one I'm talking about? That trash bag throw that Lawrence Taylor used to put on some of them quarterbacks. I'm like, what the hell? He's like, flip him over. Like, get your. That's a nasty ass way to go down, man. I'm like, you ain't even got enough respect to just, grab me. You know how you tackle somebody? How you put your shoulder, this is how you're supposed to tackle. I'm just showing you proper tackle. You think I don't know? Put that shoulder in and get them like this, wrap their ass up. He just throwing them like tossing them like, get your ass out. Just rolling them like a bag of trash. Like when you're already at the landfill and shit. You don't even care how you throw it. That's how he just throwing quarterbacks like that. Yeah, but you got that right. He said Taylor was just different. Yeah, different, all right. Damn sure was. Y'all don't know. See, y'all sir probably don't know nothing about the football like that. But y'all sir, we was actually talking about doing the separation. So because we can't really compare the athletes of today with yesterday. We have to bring them up, but they're just on it's separate things that happen. And just by studying that Alabama versus USC game, I have to say that because I've been like looking at it a lot, I've been like, you know what, that had a lot to do with it. That's not the only game, but that's probably one of the biggest games that had a lot to do with it. And matter of fact, there was coaches. Now coaches bring up the racism. I think one time, was it Idaho State or Idaho? Because I remember one time that this basketball. So Idaho, I think it was Idaho State. Now, if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. I think it was Idaho State. So what happens is they made it to the national championship, and they were doing pretty good, but at the end of the game, they just end up getting blown out. And then their coach at the end of the game, he just more or less put it on the line and said, we just don't have those, the right athletes. I'm just paraphrasing. He more or less said that we just don't have the right kind of athletes to compete at this level. And he was keeping it 100. He was like, y'all know what he was saying. Y'all know what he's saying. We need to get some darker skin out here on our basketball team, and yes, we just not gonna win. So even if we talked about that, which I try to stay away from it, like the race. If you take a team like with the same great coaches and stuff like that, all ethnic team. So you take an all ethnic team and you put it against and I'm not picking on white people or nothing like that. Against all white team in basketball, football, and all sports, what do you think gonna happen? And I'm talking about with the same equipment, the same outlets, like the same equipment, the same great coaches, the same supplements that you could take and all that. What do you think is gonna happen? Now, it's not a racial thing. It's just that with sports and stuff like that, you need because sports is made a certain way, so you need the diversity because of the way the sports is. And believe me, there's a lot of anybody like white guys or any ethnic group I would want to have on my team over anybody else for certain positions. Like when it comes to like football, there's certain positions that you need to have, that you got to have certain people there. And it has nothing to do with race or ethnicity. It's just that the player's like, oh, he's good. Because his whole physicality and his whole mentality is structured to where he can play that position better than anybody. And so that's who you want to have there. Because my team would definitely be all mixed up. I could not have this but I was certain areas. I got to have certain people with that mindset and that skill set. And that's what that USC team playing Alabama in I think it was 1970, to where that's where the light shined, to let other people know, hey, well, we need to diversify. We need to, change up a few things. And else it's just going to be totally just unfair. It's going to be totally unfair. Now, one thing in our sport, in boxing, is a little bit different. Yeah, you can have all the skill set or all the skills and athletic ability that you want to, but if the mindset's not there, and then the coaching's not there, the people that's actually watching you round per round, you got to have a scientist. You got to have a round per round scientist in there letting you know what they got to do. You can't tell a fighter 10 things to do. That means you didn't do shit in training. Like I said, I'm always going to go back to Roger Mayweather. The 5 words that he say. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. You imagine that's your instructions? Keep doing what you're doing. Is that person trained up, or they just have the skill set? If all you have to say is keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. Oh, you're letting them get inside too much. Now I'm coaching. You're letting them get inside too much. You need to throw more. You need to throw more hooks. Keep them on the outside of your jab. Throw that right hand sometimes. Get your high guard up. Your high guard is, and watch his low blows. And you know what I'm saying? And push him off sometimes. That's my instructions. So I done gave out 7 instructions. What the hell is the fighter gonna do? Even when a fighter is sparring, you can't give him but so many instructions at a time. When he's hitting the mitts, you can't give him but a couple of instructions at one time. 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4. You can't give him but a couple of instructions. To start him off, nobody. If I was holding some pads, if I just start moving the pads, I'm here with the pads. I'm holding here, like for the hooks. For the hooks, I got them here. For the uppercuts, boom, boom. If I just start moving my hands and stuff, you wouldn't know what to do if we didn't have a cadence, like to where we were working out. I say DB, I say hit with that stick, 1, 1. And DB hitting with that stick, I give him the 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. See, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, boom. I got him, 1, 2, bam, right there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I got him right here. See, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, 1. See, that's because I'm working with him. There's a difference. Nobody, I don't care how skilled you is, you ain't gonna just start hitting some mitts if somebody's holding mitts. Without some kind of warm up or doing something. Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah, we can talk about that too, Gil. I see what Gil put down. He said, Eaglesworth, what do you think about Wilder letting go of Breland? It could be a good move, or it can come back. He got everything probably that he can get from Breland. I don't look at it. It's not that serious to me. But the only thing is Breland has a lot of knowledge about Wilder and Wilder's weaknesses and stuff like that. But that's it. But Breland, I was always thinking he shouldn't be with Breland as much. So I don't really know if that's really going to hurt him. I don't think it's going to hurt him. He got his jab and all that. Wilder needs a lot of stuff. If he's going to fight, I will talk about it. But I give you the keys to Wilder. The keys to Wilder is use that body to your advantage. You got the athleticism. Use it to your advantage. I don't give a shit what you do. You do anything you want to, but whatever you do, use it to your advantage. Shit, I'll take up a tight style for Wilder. Wilder Fight Fury, get you a tight style. Get you a tight style where your hands is up nice and tight. Boom, lock them in. Lock that shit in. Practice a lot of slapping jabs down and turning, but keeping your shit tight. and waiting for the opportunity. You got power, so it's not just right hand power. And if it is right hand power, you can do. There's more than one punch with the right hand. It don't have to be the straight overhand, or just the straight right. It don't have to be that. It could be an uppercut. It could be a hook. But I work on getting your ass tight. I have your ass moving all day. You'll be like turning and shit, ducking. I have your shit tight. You tall, and then you're a tight fighter on top of that. I'm not saying you have the worst style, but I'm saying if I can get you tight. I'm not reinventing you because you can still go back and do what you want to. I don't give a shit. You can Euro step on his ass, whatever you want to do. Incorporate that shit. Incorporate shit that nobody can expect. Because you talked all this saying that nobody can train for you, then you got beat up. No matter how you got beat up, you should have been throwing elbow smashes or something. You should have tackled that nigga, man. You should have headlocked his ass or something, man. If I knew your punching power and all of a sudden your punching power then went up by 20, I know something up. I'm like, you can't get you. I said, my punching power can't go up 20. How yours gonna go up 20? I know you cheating. I'd have did some shit to you. I might have got disqualified. I'd have been low blowing. I'd have been doing something. I don't like to bring this up in boxing, but I'd have been doing some shit too. I'm a grown ass man. I'm not in that stage in my life. Like even with youngsters, I just tell them. I just tell youngsters that it ain't gonna work out for them. It's not. If you young and you come at me, it's not gonna work out for you. I ain't bragging on nothing. I'm just saying, the shit just ain't gonna work the way that all that shit you drew up, it ain't gonna work out that way. It's not. Because I'm a grown ass man. I'm not here. I'm not at that capacity to play like that. That's just not me. Yeah. That I just had this discussion with somebody. It was a serious discussion. I just had that discussion too. I'm like, it ain't gonna work out. As far as something favorably, and like being favorable to you, shit ain't gonna work. Yep. Yeah, but Derek Bay said it's crazy. He said every time I hear that, it's crazy. But I mean, things happen. Their great fighter named Sugar Ray Leonard had Muhammad Ali's trainer, Angelo Dundee. At one point, he let him go. They say it was over money or something else. I don't know. I don't really know. Don't care. The only part that I care about, because you're talking about money, who cares about? That's somebody else's money. The only part I cared about when it came to that is that he was let go. And there's always going to be trainers that let go. And we talked about this. We tried to have conversations. Okay, we tried to have conversations about why trainers are let go, what trainers should be training certain fighters, we would like to see with them. And we've done this in our adult chat. We have always done that. You see what I mean? We've always done that. Like, okay, who would be a good trainer to help Wilder out? So now, if breathing's gone, we got to find somebody just to throw in there. That's all that is. We got to find somebody who we're going to throw in there with Wilder. Not throwing, you know what I'm saying. Not the garbage, though, like Lawrence Taylor. Hey, y'all check out some Lawrence Taylor garbage throws and let me know how y'all feel about that. You're going to see what I'm talking about, though. The Lawrence Taylor garbage throw tackle. That's a damn shame, man. Yo, as you a grown ass man and you getting thrown, rolled on the ground like garbage. I'm gonna look at that shit, man, today. I got other stuff to do. See, and I'm sorry about the phone in the background. I had important phone calls that I was supposed to take, but I'm not even gonna take them now because I'm in this, but I don't feel just leave me a message. I don't like when people keep calling over and over when they can leave a message. It's a damn shame, man. But you getting thrown like garbage. But we can get somebody in there with him. Matter of fact, a lot of people downplay Freddie Roach. If Freddie Roach can still move, I would even get Freddie Roach. I'm not saying this all by itself, but just for this. To tell Wilder what give Wilder some good advice. He need to talk to somebody, give him some good advice. All the foremans and all that, they could be helpful, but a lot of them, they just know one way. Bull rushing or whatever. He has to sit down he has to get a trainer that's a boxing brain. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I was going to bring this. So I wanted to talk about this. I'm going to read what y'all got there. But I wanted to bring out that, and the reason I'm talking about this too, that I went back and I looked at the fight. I went back and looked at the mall fights. I went because I wanted to hear commentary. So I went back and the commentary was, I don't know, this is my opinion. I don't know what y'all feel about the commentary, but the commentary seemed like it was kind of biased against Charlo. And that's just my opinion on it. As I think it was a little bit biased. Vinchenko, I can't say it. I'm not going to try to say his whole name because I'm not that familiar with saying his name. I just call him D-Chank or whatever. So they was giving him way more credit. And remember we talked about this before? We talked about the effectiveness of your punches. Like you're not getting, like Charlo, like male Charlo wasn't getting credited the first time he fought Harrison with the difference in power. He wasn't getting credited with that. And same thing with the D-Chanko fight. I don't think that Charlo was getting credited with the power versus his power. They was trying to find any reason to give D-Chank a round. He just couldn't, man. If you looked at his face, man, I told you, I had that face up before. His face was all busted up. So that's why you got to go back. Just listen to their commentary. If you can find if you find a clip, if you can't replay the fight, if you can get it on YouTube or another forum, just listen to the commentary. And they even had the fight. I think they had their D-Chanko winning the fight after about 6 or something. And I seen him getting hurt in multiple. People said he got hurt in 3 rounds. I seen him get hurt in more than 3 rounds. He was getting hurt. But he's just tough. He just keeps coming forward. And Charlo probably could have put him out. The one round he definitely could have put him out. The bell saved him. But if he would have turned it up like differently, because he's willing to mix it up. If you're willing to mix it up, if you're going to take shots, because he was taking shots, if you're willing to do that, just sit in the pocket and just get rid of him. That's it. Because you're taking shots anyway. Why take shots for 12 rounds when you can just take shots for 1 round and get rid of the dude? Forget it. Just get rid of his ass. Yep. Yep. Let me see what y'all got. Yep. Gil Cozy said, Porter said he won Jamal and that he is stronger at 54. I don't care about Crawford. I don't care nothing about Porter. Porter need to re-up with Ugas because I watched that shit again too. And Ugas, matter of fact, if y'all don't, I don't even know if y'all remember. Do y'all remember that Porter was getting his dumb ass booed in the Ugas fight? Did y'all know that? The first time that Porter was getting booed, Porter had zero support in the Ugas fight. After probably, I think after round 4 or 5, Porter had zero support. Only person supporting him was his father. Everybody was hating on Porter during that fight. And it wasn't the kind of hate that you just hate the champ. Oh, I hate the champ because of this. They was hating on his ass because they didn't like his performance. Because Porter usually make people look bad. Porter made his own self look bad. I don't care if you voted for him and you said he won or not. And Porter might be strong bigger. But Porter, get your ass out of here. Yeah, Yasser Hussein said Floyd more or less began Wilder to train with him. Okay, you said he's asking, especially after Fury said Mayweather can't do shit to help him. I think that bruised Mayweather's ego. But Fury's always talking stuff. But Fury's a coward. I don't care. Fury, you a coward. I'll board smash your ass if I had to. But he's a coward. Because you hiding out and shit. You hiding, postponing fights and shit. Get the fight made. Yep. D to the base said it's behind his eagle, brother, again. He said, exactly, eagle. These young dudes think they invented fighting. Yeah. They don't even know, man. And that's why I was telling my nephew that, just the other day. I told my nephew, I said, I'm not, because I want to help him out once I go see him. But I told him, I said, I'm not going to show y'all stuff. It's just like one of my first disciplines, Ken Polk. I said, you know what? I said, even my instructor, he said that you don't show people everything. And he showed me a couple of little tricks and stuff like that. I said, y'all don't know. I said, I'm not going to show. And I don't show them to people. There are people that I know I'm not going to probably see again. I might show them. But it's like, I got to keep something for myself, man. Now, what if somebody does get all extra violent or something like that? Or even, I mean, you don't want to think about your family like that, but somebody might just go crazy. I'm crazy now. Okay, you crazy now. Okay, since you crazy now, I got to be crazier since you crazy. So you done went crazy, so I got to, okay, so I'm crazy too. So bring your crazy shit over here. Then I got to do something extra. And I don't like even talking like that, but it's right though, D to the baby. He said, they always, young cats, oh, yeah, we in MMA and all that, we invented. No, you MMA, but before MMA, we knew how to choke people if we needed to. And matter of fact, MMA wouldn't be allowed when I was growing up because every man had to fight on his feet. There was no getting down on all fours and wrestling and grab. You had to fight on. If you didn't fight somebody standing up, somebody's mama would come out the house with a stick, a bat, or a pan, and make you see the truth. I'm just letting you know. Because you wasn't going to choke somebody's kid on the ground without some grown folk or somebody coming over and try to cancel your shit with an iron or something. I'm just letting you know. So that MMA, all that shit, I mean, y'all, it's watchable. Y'all like it, you know. You know, everybody likes the wrestling part of it, the jiu-jitsu and all that, the holds and all that. But like I said, when I was growing up, I don't know about when y'all was growing up, but when I was growing up, you couldn't fight nobody like that. Y'all had to stand on your feet and get them hands going. Because if you was trying to wrestle somebody's sister, somebody's gonna choke your ass out. You're gonna get cracked for being on top of somebody trying to pin somebody down. Because there's no wrestling. But anyway, let me get back in and see what y'all got. I know I'm way behind now though. At Derek Bailey, but beat Mel at Gil Coles, yeah. That's the whole thing. Yeah, if you gonna beat him, shit, you stronger. You should have been strong when you was fighting Ugas getting your ass booed. Nah. Yeah, a lot of them want to move. They just trying to get out the welterweight. Why are you trying to stop running from Earl? Earl whoop your ass. Now you want, well, maybe I can get more. I can get Maul. They used to fight out the same gym. Yeah. Derek Bailey said, yeah, he used to fight at 168. Yeah, you remember he fought Ugas, right? Gil Cole said, what if Fury snatch up Breland? Well, he just snatch him up. He's not the one thing Breland can't do is Breland cannot make Fury brave. Fury, he's scary. Believe me, he's scared to death. Because he know after all that shit came out, he know that Wilder is thinking about one thing. By all means necessary. Tell him, Derek Bailey. By all means necessary, Wilder's going to try to hurt him worse than anything. Yeah. Yasser Hussein said Wilder should hire Ben David then just to fuck with Fury's head. Yeah. Yeah. Derek Bailey said I didn't listen to the commentators. Yeah, it's best not to listen to them because they're going to just they'll distract you from the fight. Gil Cole said I had the TV on mute. He said Marlo's. He was on Marlo's corner. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because you want to hear Trey. Trey be calling them fights though. Old Trey X. Trey X be on that fight call, man. He got that tongue, man. He got the hands up good. Yeah, they be having the hands up good, man. I miss them two brothers, man. Yeah, but yeah, sometimes you got to go back just to listen to what they said because you already called the fight. The fight's over with. We already know who won, but you got to see what kind of bullshit what they was trying to say. I'm like, wow. And if they have Lennox Lewis doing fights sometime, they try to get him in there sometime when they got his ass up in there. They try to get Lennox Lewis to lie or whatever. But some of the fighters, the commentators, is not. You know, they not sellable like that. And I was listening a little bit what Mares had to say, and I don't know, some of the stuff he says is just not. Okay, good point. I'm gonna tell you who makes good points as far as like commentating. Who makes good points? Most of his points, I'm gonna say probably over 70% of his points are good, and that's Al Bernstein. I don't know if y'all like him or not, or if y'all even heard of him. Y'all should know who he is though. But Al Bernstein makes a lot of sense when he's calling boxing. I like him. And he gives like keys to victory and stuff. Like sometimes his keys to victories might be a little bit off because sometimes you can't do what you normally do like you're using, because he puts it on like your best assets. That's usually what he does for the keys of victory. But sometimes you got to change up your asset and just use shit that you don't usually have against certain fighters. Because if you just use what you have, you know, you're probably gonna lose. You need to train that up. But he makes some good points though. And one point he made, and I noticed too though, a lot of times Charlo does, and I'm talking about Maul Charlo. A lot of times Maul Charlo will move like straight in a straight line like back, but he's smart though. He don't always do that, and he changes up his jab. That's one thing I always love, man, is changing up the jab. 1 jab, 3 jabs, 2 uppercut, damn. But don't pull back. But against a shorter fight like he was fighting, he could pull back. Sometimes you can pull back, but you can get caught. Even Ali got caught pulling back, and he was the king of pulling back, like getting the kids. But he had that. He was just so long. The way he could keep his balance on his back leg and stretch all the way back, make you miss, and then get back into position so quick, and use his footwork. He was just moving so much so you would never catch him as a stationary target where you can get him like that. But Maul got good movement, so, but that is a good point. I'm just saying, Al Bernstein. What's his name? Romello, he's just colorful. He just says a lot of stuff that's just colorful, but he's good too though. He's good with the, you know, colorifying the fight. If you go back and listen to him, he'll make you laugh, man. Some of the stuff he says. Like the thing he said about Brazil. He said Brazil went down. He said Brazil went down. He said they so hard they hearing it in Brazil. I'm like, God dang. He say stuff like that, and now one of his big things is saying that somebody got sent in airplane mode. If you get cracked and you go down, he said he sent you in airplane mode. In other words, you going down like a disabled fighter, like right. So yeah, he makes me laugh. But watch the fight like everybody else watch the fight. Don't watch the fight with sound on. But if you get a chance to replay it, then go back and listen to what they were saying, to see if they were saying anything that you was thinking about. Yasser Hussein said, love Lennox, but he's a shit commentator. I'm not gonna say shit. Come on, dang, Yasser said he's shit. Derek Bailey said, yeah, he used to call more fights than he does now. Yeah, he doesn't do as many. But Bernstein is pretty good. Out of all the fight, the one that I'm happy this gone is that damn Merchant. Larry Merchant, I couldn't stand him. Never could. Him and the guy that was with him. That now it slips in my mind because then he had a brother that did sports with him. Yeah. So neither one of them I didn't like because they was insightful. And when I say insightful, I mean they used to try to incite shit like riots and shit. Both of them two. Yep. Believe me, they wasn't no good. Anything went down, they'll start. Them two would start race war quicker than anybody. Yeah, Gil Cole says Zepeda caught Brad Check with 3 left jukes. That was an awesome fight. Yeah, there was a lot of that was like a little that was a knockdown fight there, wasn't it? A little knockdown drag out fight there. This is hard looping. They was throwing some wide punches. A lot of wild shit. But I told y'all, man, right now, see, and when you're in desperation like that, see, boxing right now, boxing is a desperation sport. When you stay out of it so long, you just come in. Your game plan basically, once you get hit in the face, your game plan is kind of leaves because you've been out of boxing. And just think, a lot of these fighters been out even longer. At least Wilder, we did get Wilder early this year, right? In February. But some fighters we haven't seen all the way since last year. Like Earl Spence. Earl Spence been out of the ring for, this will be like 14 months. So I wonder if he's gonna come out. Well, that'll make it that's another side that we didn't look at. That'll make it interesting. Maybe he gets cracked and he just goes crazy and shit, and we see an Earl that we never seen. Never know. Yeah. Damn. Y'all started going in on these commentators. He said Paulie was a biased prick as well. And I'm gonna tell you something now. I said this before, y'all, sir. I used to like Paulie when Paulie was first doing commentary. He was good. He was decent. He kept it consistent. And then he got on that bullshit. And then he went on that black and white stuff and all that shit. And then now his ass is, now he's out because he took it too far. You can only go so far. Because you said he was a biased prick. So a biased prick, so he's gone. So anytime you do stupid shit like that, you cause ratings. If you cost the ratings and stuff like that, you costing the corporation money, you gone. You ain't nobody that big. Because you see Merchant and them, they single-handedly folded the HBO boxing program by pissing off Mayweather. That's it. It's a wrap. Once he left HBO and talked shit to him. And matter of fact, he was always getting his ass in trouble anyway. Matter of fact, I mean, Jim Gray is like one of those type that I don't hate him, but I don't necessarily like him that much because he says a lot of shit. He'll bring up racial tension quick or just tension. He'll say he'll act like a fighter ain't shit. Like you ain't shit. Nobody want to see you fight. Who'd he do? Who'd he did that? He did it against Brazil. Brazil Wilder. Nobody want to see you fight Brazil. He was going crazy and shit. And then Brazil didn't even do the interview with him. Because Brazil did get destroyed. But Jim Gray, I think he even made James Toney got tired of talking to him one time and slapped the mic out of his hand. See, some of these announcers and commentators, a lot of times they just, a real person, like if you real, a lot of times you ain't gonna be, oh yeah, that's right, I went in and did that. Sometimes they say shit where you gotta check them. Like, no, man, don't say that kind of shit. You asking dumb shit. If you asking dumb shit, that's what you get. Dick Bay said, yeah, it was. Yep. But Johnny Nelson and Tony Bellew from Matchroom take the prize. Yep. That's y'all, sir. Y'all, sir, heated. Well, I never see y'all, sir, come in here heated like that, y'all. I bring up commentators and he'd start going off. He just started going crazy. Yep. And y'all, sir, again, he said I watched it the next day in the morning. What was it? Like 8 knockdowns and 5 rounds. Yeah, that was knockdown, drag out stuff right there. Gil Cole said Jim Lampley was the worst for years. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, that's who it was too. The other one, Jim Lampley. Yeah, yeah. I told you that's what I tried to tell y'all before. I told y'all. I said go back and look at the fan. I think it was Riddick Bowe and Galata. I think it was the second one. And listen to their language in there. And he was one of them. Jim Lampley was in there to listen to their language, what they're saying. Don't listen to nothing else. Just listen to them. It might make you hate it might make you hate them. Yeah. Yeah, Derek Bay said Tony the wrong one, especially after a fight to say something slick to. Yep. And that's why I don't like either, man. Somebody, that's why I say if I'm saying debate, if you want to get on Eagle, if you want to get Eagle like a little heated and shit, say something slick. And my people think they slick too. They come up, they say slick shit. I'm like, man, stop it. I'll tell them in a minute though. Don't come over to me saying something slick. But I had a wonderful Saturday, man. I'm gonna try to do something. If I have time, I'm trying to do something for the Many Kind Hearts. I'll do it out there on the street, man. I want to do an interview, really. I want to try to bring some opening and stuff, some knowledge and stuff to where we're going and stuff. You know, back in the forefront. Yeah, but Tony wasn't nothing to play with like that, man. You can't see, and a lot of fighters like Floyd used to take all that slick shit and just like constantly he just go ahead and go with it, and he would like humble himself and answer. He got tired of it. But he took it for a long time. Floyd, I give him hats off for that because he did take that shit for a long time. I've been taking that shit from Gil for a long time. You see, dude, you know Gil come in here and slick talk Eagle. He can't help himself though. He's gone, man. Sorry, but excuse me, I just had to finish up. But yeah, this whole thing about the separation though, man, I think that's important. I don't know if anybody agrees with me on it or nothing like that, but I think it's important for people to understand that a lot of the records and stuff that you breaking and stuff like that, and a lot of that stuff shouldn't have it wouldn't have been broken. And that's just you might be saying, "Oh, Eagle just got his opinion." No, I believe me, I got people that I come from a family to where generations aren't necessarily generations, because in my family there's always somebody being born, and so you might have somebody that not necessarily my family, but you might have somebody that is an uncle that may be younger than the nephew. See? And so knowledge and stuff comes because it's passed down, and you might catch the tail end of it, but then when you get older, it absorbs in here a little bit better, and then you start figuring it out. Say, okay, I can see, yeah, he could have probably did that. And so a lot of times the excuse is like, I believe it's you that brought it up, D to the Bay, that you brought it up, like they called, like something, they call it running up, like running up a score or something like that. Shit. They had that team they were actually a good team. They could beat some real teams, but like the Harlem Globetrotters, shit, they used to run the score up all the time, right? But that's, people think that's fake and shit, but them guys can actually play ball though. But the reason that's done is, like I said before, is for an excuse to cover up something. If I don't want to showcase how great you are, what do? In any kind of case, I got to do something. Derek Bailey's great, but I don't want him to be able to showcase his greatness. So what do? I limit his showing off his greatness with rules and stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, well you can't do that this time or whatever. Or if it's a team sport, I need to sit you down for this a little bit. I need you, and this is what they're gonna tell you. I need you in the second half. You're doing good. We up right now. You're doing good. Go ahead and relax for the second half or something like that. It sounds good, don't it? But you rush for first quarter. You already rushed for like 105 yards in the first quarter. Second quarter, you was on your way again. You already had 25 yards. And second quarter, there's 8 minutes left, and you get sat down. And your coach told me I'll probably bring you back in the third or early fourth. That just killed the record, didn't it? Yeah. But Gil Coles, he said the worst. I don't know if I'm gonna give Jim Lapley the worst though, cause I'm telling you, man, that the other dude was slick and slow, all hunched over, and he was slick with the slow tongue though. Do you think? Cause he does shit like this. He takes that breath. Do you think in the 5th round that if you would have possibly turned up, maybe landed some more rights, that at that point you could have possibly, gotten a better result? He does shit like that. And see, when he does that, the whole time at home, I'm choking him. I don't like this. Tell me he's not condescending. Man, get out of here. That guy was worse. He's worse than Lampley. But Lampley, at least you knew right away. He put it out there. You knew who he was. You could just see it. Because he was like he did the cover. And like I said, we don't use the racial thing that much. But he used the cover up racial shit. And you could just you could see it. You could see it. And he was a little bit swifter with it. But the thing that made him slick is if he knew you was great and he knew you was gonna win, then he would big up you then. Then he's gonna big up you to make himself sound like he's okay. Because he'll definitely use words like, he'll say too much, like too fast, too skillful, too ahead of his time. That's the kind of stuff he would say. But if he wanted to say something slick, he'll use a whole different way of talking if he want to use something slick. If he want to say something slick. Yeah. Gil Cole said Jim Lampley was on Pacquiao payroll. He said Pat could miss all night. Lampley would count them as all connects. Yeah. He would do that with Pacquiao too. That's a good point though, Gil. That's true. And he would act like Pacquiao's piecing somebody up. And I think I brought up a fight last year. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I know I brought up a fight. And I told y'all, I said, look at Pacquiao. I said, Pacquiao didn't land shit. I know Mayweather too. I said, Pacquiao didn't land shit. It was Broner too. I said, Pacquiao wasn't landing as much as y'all thought he was. But then again, Broner just wasn't doing shit. Yeah, but Jim, you're right. He was inside that strap, Gil. That's what he was. He was inside the strap. Just said, well, how's that strap feel inside there? Oh, I'm comfortable in here. I feel good. I'm kind of bouncing up and down, hitting nuts every once in a while. He was inside that strap. Believe me, he had his head hanging out the strap like Pacquiao. Yeah, Yasser Hussein said, Gil, you reckon he wasn't on Bob's payroll? I don't know. They don't talk about promoters as much. Now they'll talk about trainers and they'll talk about fighters, but for me, it didn't seem like they was really like worried about trainers, and I mean not trainers, but anybody who has anything to do with the money, like the promoter or the manager, they can care less about that shit. Yeah, D barely say facts. He said Pat could do no wrong in a fight as far as Lampley was concerned. At Gil Coles, yep, Lampley used to beat his wife. God dang. He said Lampley used to beat his wife. There's them type though. Them type to do shit and act like they all about, they all good and shit. The ones that do that shit, believe me, they got some baggage. They will slap their wife around. They have people that slap wives around that a lot of people wouldn't even know. Beat the shit out their wife. Dirty. Yeah. But this thing, we'll keep it, let's try to keep it separated. We probably won't. We won't be able to do it. Because I told you, it's like a long subject. It was something that I just touched. I brought up, because I wasn't trying to bury the whole discussion of it. It's just this part, this could be like it's not a part one, but this is just like a discussion to show that, hey, there's events that happened that made you, and see, there's other side to it, D to the Bailey, is that, I'm talking to all y'all, I just call it D to the Bailey. There's other sides of it that actually turns over to make the future great. And a lot of people don't see that. And a way that they used to say it, they still use this analogy today. They said that this athlete paved the way. But see how general that is? It's like, oh yeah, he made a road for me. He paved the way. So he made a road for us to, in the future, to get better and do this and that. But see, when they're saying pave the road, the thing that they're leaving out is they're not talking about what's in that pavement. And you're not seeing all you're seeing is the road ahead, but you're not seeing what's in that pavement. You're not seeing what they had to leave actual behind. Because they probably would have left things behind that you would never have been able to touch. You could have never matched. Just like even Jim Brown. I mean, if he's been running for thousands of yards, I mean, if he retired and he was still on top, he still wasn't nobody coming into the league to stop him. He was going to still, and if it was one person to come in, how many people came in? Even if it was two people that came in and stopped him a little bit. What about them other teams? He still was going to run. He still was going to get 600, 700, 800, 900 yards. 600, 700, 800. Let's say if he played even like say 6 more years. Might have had that shit up to like 2,000 something yards. And then it would have took a lot of rules because and I don't want to make this sound like a conspiracy, but it would have took a lot of rules for them to decide to finally get that record broke. Like, okay, we got to get this record broke. There's like 3-point lines and all this other stuff. And it's hard, even with that 3-point line, it's hard to catch. I don't think nobody's catching Kareem, right? When it comes to most points, I don't think people are really catching Kareem. Yeah, sir, again, he said they love promoters around here, especially Eddie Hearn. Oh, man, the bail in. He got a lot of people in his pocket. We don't even talk about that. And I allowed you. I'm surprised that Streamlabs was supposed to stop you from putting that word up here, because that word that Eddie Hearns is not even allowed to be written down in here. I don't know why Streamlabs should have threw you out. Even if you're a mod, they can throw you out, but they didn't. I'm surprised they let you write that word, because that's one of my words that I don't allow in here. That I put that in the program that not allowed. I don't know. Maybe it's not in no more. I got to go back and check. Yeah, I just call him Snake, because that's what he is to us, or to me. This is an e-snake. That's all it is to it. You know, we look at the paving of the way, look at what was used to pave, and understand that athletes of the past were great. I got a friend on my Facebook. He posts so much stuff. I like to look at some of his stuff, and he actually says the opposite of what a lot of people are saying. He said that people are getting, that the men are getting weaker and weaker by generation. And he actually showed a picture. I think it was his father. It was either his father or his grandfather. And they had half a tree on their shoulder, about this wide. I would say the diameter of that tree that he was carrying around on his shoulder, just thinking, it must have been like 15. The diameter must have been like about 15, at least 15. And the length, it's hard to call it a log that thick. It was thick. I would say the length was about 6-7 feet. And he's carrying that shit on his shoulder. That's a lot of weight. He's just walking like nothing. And that's why I tried to explain that to people. But people, oh no, we can be a bit faster, stronger. And then I know what kills you. Not you particularly. But what kills you is that I make sense, even though I don't know a damn thing. I make sense when I tell you that man is the only creature that feels like he's getting bigger and stronger, or makes himself get bigger and stronger and faster. And all the animals that's around him, he makes them bigger and stronger. Training pit bulls and shit with weights and on treadmills and shit like that, or giving them supplements and shit like that. Horses same way. Yeah, wild horses run just as fast, but they know how to run over shit. You put a horse out there that's domesticated out there in the wild, he gonna probably kill himself in one day. He gonna get spooked or something. He don't know what to do out there. See? But we're the only ones, man. The only ones. Only ones that think we getting that much better and bigger and stronger and all that. I see my brother finally come at the end of the show. D-Lo 404. Salute to him, man. He says salute all. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at the separation, it's not, like I said, we're not going to use it as a racial thing. We're going to just use it as what it is the sacrifice that was made before. So just like when I brought up that USC game, the sacrifice that was made before is bigger than what you really see. That's a big sacrifice. Like when you pulling players out of the game, you got players that can literally they're gonna rush for 400 or 500 yards, and you got to take them out because of you don't want to embarrass somebody. So on camera that all sounds good, but in reality it's all bullshit. Think about it. It's all bullshit. I don't care if I run the score up on your ass. That'll teach you next time. That's what I was always taught. If you're getting your ass whooped by somebody, it's you just getting your ass whooped. Well, there's areas where you got to stop somebody from getting their ass whooped. But hey, next time you come up here, let's show them. So next time they play us, they'll know, hey, that's that team to be running them points up on you. I don't care. Run the points up. Like I said, that was an excuse to cover up stuff. Was it? Because okay, let's go back to the USC football game in Alabama. That first meeting, in 1970. So we go back to that meeting. Let's think about it. So let's say the score was ran up, and there's other reasons why it might not have been ran up, but let's say it was ran up. Those two coaches was Lou Saban was friends. They were good friends. So what would he think if they ran the score up like that? What would Paul Bear Bryant thought if they just would have ran the score up like that? It's like that because he asked for it, right? He's the one that wanted them to play. So if they would have ran the score like ridiculous, like 100 and something points on the scoreboard, of course the crowd would have went crazy and left the stadium and would have been throwing stuff and everything else and might have been yelling the N-word or whatever else they might have been yelling. But what it would have did, he would have been like, I just wanted the state, I just wanted people to see the example of when you have a diverse team, what that brings. But you come out and you just blow us the hell out. Now you just killed the whole message. Like, yeah, it would have been the same shit that happened to Hitler's ass. And I believe that was that in 1934? Y'all know if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. Was it 1934 in Berlin when Jesse Owens went over there and killed all the white supremacy myth? Because he out-sprinted their ass in more than one race, out-jumped their ass in long jumping, and just put a whole killer. He put the whole kill, the knife in the back. He put the knife in the back with the hammer on that whole white supremacy shit, that old Aryan nation shit. He put the whole knife in the back. Now the Alabama game might have did the same thing. And I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes that is actually needed. But see, this is what they don't do. After something like that happens, people don't just come together and they'll brag about what happened for a long time. Oh, you see that? But it's not the point of you going to brag about it. It's about what's your next move. You got to make a good move. You got to make a player move after something like that. You can't just take that, oh yeah, look what we did. You can't just take it like that, yeah. You have to take it and bring it into other aspects. Or you got to do something with it that's going to help you out. Don't just leave it as a bookmark. A bookmark ain't never helped nobody out. It's help you find your place, that's it. But let's make some other bookmarks and change it to where we could do something positive with it. If you can't do nothing positive with it, or if it's just going to be a reminder, it's nothing. Because people don't care about being reminded. Because I remind these bastards all the time about what they done as far as like slaughter. I remind people about the Sand Creek Massacre and shit like that. It's a reminder. But it's nothing we can do about it. Oh, I feel bad. People come up to me all the time on the street. Oh, I feel bad with what the people done to the natives and stuff. I don't want to hear that shit. How bad do you feel? You just feel bad because you see me and you want to say, oh, I feel bad? No. I don't give a damn about you feeling bad. Well, do something if you feel bad. Protest. Do something yourself. Because we don't have the numbers to protest. You protest. Bring that shit up to Congress. Congress do right by the natives. That's it. You ain't gonna do it. Anyway. Yeah, slew that. That's right. You slew them out of Derek to the bay. Let me get what y'all got. I remember when they stopped allowing players to dunk in the college basketball back in the day. Yeah, and that was my other point that I even missed that one. And see, and matter of fact, I brought him up too. I brought up Kareem. Good looking, Derek. Good looking, because that was another one of my examples. Y'all know I don't write down shit. But that was another one of my examples right there. Is don't you know they changed the law in collegiate basketball? They made up a rule for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was AKA, who was known back then as Lou Alcindor, that they changed the game, and this is how innovative he was. Is he learned how that hook shot, and was killing their ass with the hook shot. And took that shit over to the NBA. He was killing people with that shit. You could not block a hook shot. And Kareem was tearing their ass up with it. But he would have, just think about it, if he was allowed to dunk in college. He was the greatest college basketball player, arguably. But if he was able to dunk, just think about what the record would have been if he was able to dunk. Just think about how many points he would have averaged. Couldn't dunk. Had to throw the hook shot. And dunking is way more consistent than throwing a hook shot. But he got to the point where I used to watch him with that hook shot. I'm like, he's gonna bang that shit. As a kid, you watch him hook, you say, oh, he making that. Yasser Hussein said, I didn't know the Germ's name was a no-no. He said, I'll call him okay, yeah. I'll call him something else for the next time. I'll just be cranky today. 800-mile round trip for nothing. He cried. Yeah, oh, that's a sad one. I made almost a 600-mile round trip for nothing one time. Oh, D-Lo said, he said rough day. He said rough work day. Yeah, damn, that's right though, 800. Yeah. D to the base at 36. Citadel refused to agree to the Mercy rule versus Clemson earlier this year. I respected that, and that's D-Lo 404. See what I'm saying? But see, the whole thing at D-Lo and everybody else too, though. But a lot of times we need to do sometimes things you have to do things to punish, and it's not for punishment, but you have to exploit stuff sometimes to bring about a change. But you have to also ask for that change. A lot of people don't want to ask for the change afterwards. But you got to ask for the change too. You can't just, like you take a football team and you know good and damn well they're going to kill this team. And you take them in there and your starting running back got 700 yards. Of course that shit ain't going to never be broken. Especially if you're talking about on the highest level in NCAA football or something like that. Of course nobody's going to break a record like that. 700 yards rushing. That's ridiculous. That's some players don't even do that for the whole year. And your quarterback got sacked 30 times. Your quarterback got sacked 30 times. You had, and this is just one game, 30 times sacked, 15 fumbles, 15, 20 hurries on the quarterback, on the quarterback's end. Minus 150 yards rushing. See what I mean? It's something like that. On passing for the whole game, 10 yards net passing. You imagine if a game ended up like that and the other team got nothing but positive on the other team. Between the whole team, 800 yards rushing, that's a game. Passing, on passing, 500 yards, and you know the game's way over 100, you know what I mean? 300 and something, 400 yards passing, stuff like that. Quarterback rating, no interceptions and stuff, 100% on the pass. And his passer rating is going to be up. If it was NFL, he's going to be like a 120, something like that. No interceptions. He went 35 for 36 on passing. What do you think's going to happen? But that's how you bring out the change, though. But the equalizer, I see down there Michael Johnson's boxing talk. You and D-Lo bring your ass in here this late. No, an Eagle should have been out here, but y'all make Eagle stay sometime, man. I had like a subject. I just wanted to talk about y'all going to have to go back and catch it, man. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But anyway, yeah. So imagine what you could do with the possibility if they didn't, like, now they got this stacks and all that shit, snacks and all this other bullshit to even out the playing field. But see, when you're playing on an even playing field and you're superior, then do something with the result. Do something positive with the result. Don't just leave it as a bookmark, because a bookmark does is give us a place in history where we can go back and look. Oh yeah, look what he did. That's all we can do. We can just go back and talk about it. But it's not going to do nothing for us right now. We got to use it to push us forward. And a lot of times they do that in movies. they'll use it to push you forward, but not in real life. They won't. Because you can say, you see what he does, and we can do that in everything. You know what I'm saying? You got to use that for motivational speaking and stuff like that. D-Lo in there again. He said, Citadel with free. Okay, I read that one. Yep. Y'all saw it. He said, my day been a shots show, to say the least. At D-Lo, yeah. Yeah, Derek Beatty. He said the guy was a prick. Wasted my time. God dang. And then Michael Johnson, I saluted him. He said, what's up, fam? And then everybody could say, salute out. He said it was Duncan, but it was while he was in college, but there was a white dude too. Yeah. But Michael Johnson boxing talk, he couldn't dunk at all. They took that out. In college, yeah, you couldn't dunk in college. And matter of fact, you didn't dare dunk in the NBA for a while, because they took it as disrespect dunking on somebody. Oh, you gonna dunk? You get hurt, man. Back in the day in the NBA, you get hurt dunking. But when they opened it up, and that was mostly due to the merger with the ABA, is when because the ABA really helped the NBA to open up, and that goes back to when they had players like Gerving and stuff like that, and Dr. J. When they opened up the NBA wouldn't be what it is if Michael Jordan and them it wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for the ABA merger and Dr. J. And the ABA used to play the NBA and would win in dramatic fashion. NBA won some, but I think the ABA won more. Yep. Yeah, Derek Beatty said, didn't UCLA win something like 8 years in a row? They won a lot. Man, I don't even remember the numbers, man. Yep. Yeah, D-Lo said, if I'm coaching, I'm not accepting no bailout. He said, either we stop the beating or play it out in total. That's it. I know what you meant. You got that damn right. You got that right. Hey, you got your ass up in there, didn't you? Hey, D-Lo, you got your ass up on the field, didn't you? Hey, if we was prepared and you got up in there, you got your ass up in there. Hey, so it's one way or another, get your ass in and out. And that reigns true for like the whole thing we talk about, like the boxing and everything else. That still reigns true for that. Yeah, that was you. You said that you thought he was a great coach and a good trainer. Now he got you in there getting your ass whooped. Try your best, man. We in here. There's one thing, because one thing I don't like a trainer after when now the fighter's in a fight and you talking shit to the fighter. I guess you ain't gonna do what we did but what we trained. You ain't doing none of the shit we trained on and nothing like that. Man, you might as well just flip burgers or something. You ain't gonna be a fighter. I don't like no shit like that. Do not like it at all, man. Come on now, pull your man together. Say this is what you tell a fighter. Fighter's getting hurt. Okay, he's can't hurt you for the whole fight. He's gonna get tired. Okay, well, I know you're getting hurt. You never fought a fighter with this kind of punching power, but we gotta take something off on his punches by moving, into a certain range. So we want to stay mid-range. We don't want to stay on the end of his punches where all the snap is. We want to, try to keep him mid-range, and we want to get some body movement. See, that was one of the things I was gonna talk about today, but we'll talk about that later, man, because I've been on for a long time. But we'll talk about that later. You'll see. We'll talk about it. It's an ego always have good things to talk about. But a lot of times we just can't not cover all of them, because I missed the whole thing, and Derek Beatty brought it up because I missed the whole thing about the whole Kareem thing. I had missed that, and I knew I wanted to talk about that because that was significant to what we were saying. There are a lot of these records that people think they breaking. You were allowed, because of that paving of the road, you were allowed to break those records. They could have put those records out to where you'll never break them. They still have records in weightlifting, like deadlifting and stuff like that people can't break. Because they don't have they just don't, you just ain't gonna come up with the strength. I think they had a dude that pulled like over 2,000 pounds off the ground or some shit. Way back. I'm not talking about way back. I'm talking about 100 years ago. Ain't nobody gonna be that strong. I don't care how many steroids or whatever they take, they're going to kill themselves trying to get that strong. But that was a whole separate, you see what I mean? That was a whole separate era. We got to take it for what it is. But don't bookmark it, but just make it say, you know what, they were great. And you got to start using what they gave you. They said that they paved the road for us to do what we do today, and we appreciate them for that, and we can always respect them for that. We don't compare to them. They're different. Just keep it like that. But everybody want to compare. No, you don't compare. You can't compare. Shut up. Stop trying to compare because you don't compare. You just don't. You don't compare. Yeah. D-Lo said, I would have been one disrespectful dunking motherfucker if I had that ability. Yeah. They would have just gave me technicals. I know at one point in the game when we got up by 15 or something, 20, 2 minutes left, everything I got, I was slamming. They would have had to throw me out the game. I just took my 2 technicals per game and got thrown out. But you get a warning. One more is a technical. I come down, blam! Come down one more time just so they know. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go, Derek Beatty said they call the ABA street ball, but then when the street ballers is getting you on your ass, then what? Then you had to respect it. You had to respect that gangster, huh? You had to respect them, though. You couldn't just, they street balling. But they shouldn't be whooping your ass if they just street balling, right? Yeah. D-Lo said that I think UCLA won like 77 or so in the world. It was a lot. It's just too many damn games to win the road. I know that. Matter of fact, even their football team like won. I think it was like 3 or 4 years their football team won and only lost like 1 game or some shit. They was just beasts, man. They was just, and that's all because of you have a coach and you have a system that embraces everybody as athletes. And you still had these separatist type of programs that just didn't accept nothing. They have the best players on the bench. I used to watch that shit, man. I don't know if y'all used to watch it, but just look at some of the replays, man, like the Marquettes and all that. Just look at some of their stuff from the 70s and shit. And you know, you sitting there watching the best players are sitting out. Now you stupid. This is a subject, like I said, I didn't want to flip it to that way. But this is something that we can flip it that way and we can just talk about we can keep talking about it. But that's why we're here, man. We're here to help and talk about this and just make the change and just correct the youngsters when they try to come up to you and talking shit. When they try to correct you, just put their ass in check and tell them, hey, if it wasn't for these players here, these players is the one that, hey, they had to go through a lot of shit. And they wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff that they're allowed to do today. So that's what makes you look great. It makes you look greater than what you really are. So stop it. And always give credit to your past. Because without your past, your stupid ass wouldn't be here. If you didn't have grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents, your dumb ass wouldn't be here. So you always respect them, man. You be like, I'm happy that y'all let me come in and, y'all had us. You know what I mean? Because now we get the experience. We get to see, what you went through in order for us to get where we going. Yeah? Yeah, damn. D to the Betty said, yeah, that was my point too, Derek Beatty too. I made that point. I try to tell people about that shit. So Derek Beatty said, not with all the processed GMO foods. He said, you don't find guys as strong as they used to be. Nope. Only thing strong as it used to be is pigs. I told y'all that story, huh? That was nasty, man. Somebody, see my friend, I told y'all about my friend. He just sent all kind of shit. And so he sent me this thing. I was like looking, I'm like, what the hell is this? And so it was a guy that he was actually doing like commentary on what he was doing. So he found a dead rat. So he throws the dead rat over in the pig pen. He just throws it over the fence to see what happens. He said, I wonder what's going to happen. Don't you know them pigs ate that dead rat? They ate him raw. Just ate a dead rat like it wasn't nothing. They was chewing him up. I'm like, oh. I was like, that's just not, that's just, it make my stomach hurt, man. Just, I don't ever want to, I got to start screening everything that people send me now. I got to screen that shit out, man, because it's just, It's too much, man. Y'all doing too much. Y'all stop it. But anyway, let Eagle get out of here, man. Damn, Eagle been kept y'all, man. Y'all kept Eagle, man. But good points, though. I'm glad that y'all realized what was going on and y'all start bringing up these other points about that. We'll have another discussion on it. I don't know how long. It'll probably be a while, but we'll have another discussion, and I'll try to bring more to light because we brought up the Jack Johnson, what's his name? The football, Jim Brown. Okay, I'm slow thinking right now because we brought up so many of them, and we brought up the Robinson and stuff like that. And I'm talking about baseball Robinson, Jackie Robinson. A lot of J's, huh? A lot of J's up in there. Jim Brown, Jack Johnson, Jackie Robinson. A lot of them. We brought up a lot of those. Bob Hayes. We brought up the Bob Hayes and stuff. Brought up the game, the USC versus Alabama. Brought that kind of stuff up. It's just to put in perspective to show you that, hey, they could have did a whole lot. Yeah, they could have did a whole lot more. So just hold your horses on this beefing somebody up. Oh, he's great. It's all this hold your horse on that. But we'll bring up maybe some more, and to see what they had to really go through and had to endure, and how their records could have even been even better. So, and the reason I just wanted to bring that up because I want us to separate, even though we have to use the past, we still have to separate it because these guys just aren't going to be, they're not going to, even if they think they're going to add up, they're not going to add up. Their significance is just not, it's not the same significance because of the era. If we go back to that kind of era in which people are dumb enough to let us do that, there are people that's dumb enough to let you go back. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it like this before I leave, and you probably get mad at Eagle, but there are people that's dumb enough to let people go back to slavery. I'm telling you how, right now, and there's a mass amount of people that are dumb enough to let slavery happen again. Because you're living in the form of slavery, all of us right now, anyway. But we're gonna get back into it. I know y'all gonna have thoughts. If you can't sleep. If you got an email Eagle, just go ahead and email me. Like, damn, I got an email Eagle. You can't be saying that kind of shit, man. Hey, look, it is what it is. This is an adult talk, man. We do the boxing and all the time. Yeah, I talked about that too at D-Lo 404. I talked about Jim Thorpe. I always got to talk about my brother, man. And Josh too. And you got that right. Yeah, Josh played for the Grays, right? Yeah, I never got a chance to talk about him. And they're saying that they say that he had over 800 home runs. So, like I said, if you're the one that takes all the information and you present it to us in your form, you're going to win. If we try to add information to that, because what they'll do, see now I got to stay just for a second. So what they'll do is they'll take the page, like there's a page here. There's a page, all this information on it. And these are the regular stats. Then they'll put your shit. They might put you in there, but yours is a side note. Yours is a gray area. Yours is, but that was in another league. Or yours is always some bullshit where yours is. The only time they can't do that, or they'll still do it, or yours is unofficial. They'll do unofficial. Only time they can't do it if it's official, don't matter what the meet is and nothing like that. They can't do it when it's an event that's timed, a timing event. That's the only time they can't do it. If it's timing, they can't do it. If it's measurement, they can always do it. If anything that is some kind of measure, then they can do it. But if it's timing, they can't do it. As long as it's official timing, they can't take away from anything that's officially timed. They can't make it gray or something like that. They could try to, like, this was over here. They can try to do that, but hey, sorry. Or even distance. If it's officially measured, like if it's measured in time or distance, they can't F with it. But a lot of other stuff they mess with and stuff. But that's good though, D-Lo. We'll talk about it some more. We'll get back into it at another time, man. It was a great discussion about it though. I like that you guys got the best inputs. I mean, far as like coming up with people, the same type of people that I would think about in these situations, you guys think about it because it's adult chat. And that's good that we didn't have nobody come in that we had to smash today. That's good, because somebody would have came in and what the fuck you talking about and said something stupid, and then D to the Bailey would have to put hands on. But D to the Bailey, check your mail this week. We got something coming to you, baby. Don't worry about it. You gonna get your strap this week, and I'm gonna let y'all go, man. My shout out to all the real people that I see. That's y'all, man. And my shout out to all y'all that mess with me. This is another Monday, man. We on the TOC, the TOC 5 for the 220. Nothing but blessings, baby. I'm gonna catch y'all, man.